What's good? Will Freeman, RevolutionaryLifestyleDesign.com, talking to you today about how to properly view your net worth. Number one, your net worth is an insurance policy against an interruption of revenue over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. That's really all it is, because your revenue should be increasing every year so you can, one, buy a better quality of life, better goods, better services, more fun lifestyle, attract better women, anti-aging technology, whatever it is. Number two, buy more insurance, which gives you more peace of mind. When your insurance policy is $50,000, there's a big difference in peace of mind between $5 million and not just sitting in a bank on every continent, real estate in multiple continents, multiple passports, gold, Bitcoin, the whole thing, some equities. Um, you've diversified, right, across the board, plus your business streams of income. Massive difference in peace of mind. Peace of mind is a great investment and a great insurance policy against an interruption of revenue, which there probably will be over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So if you have large lifestyle leaks and a spending problem, you need to look at every dollar spent as a percentage of net worth. There's some high income guys who have 20K in the bank, okay, and they live in Dubai. They make 20K a month, which is high income to most people, might not be high income to you, and they spend all of it. They spend 10K out at the clubs and on girls, and they're having a blast. But they've got 20K in the tank, 20K coming in every month, and it's all going back out the door. They're not saving anything, and they won't hesitate to drop 10K on a trip to the Maldives, right? Um, a trip that cost them 50% of their net worth because they're aggressive. They think they're going to make a bunch of money. But when you have 10, 20 grand in the bank and you drop 10K on a trip, you just spent half your net worth on that trip. But it gets worse if you just look at the average American. Something like 60% of Americans have less than 10 grand in savings as net worth, but it's actually a negative net worth because they've got a mortgage, right? So they've got 400K in debt and less than 10K in the bank, so they're well in the negative. A mortgage on is something you're personally liable for. It is not an investment because you're not making money on it, you're paying interest on it, and it is not an asset. It's a liability. You are in a negative net worth unless you have more in cash than you do in that actual mortgage. Corporate debt is something totally different because you're not liable for an LLC and you're dumping it back into marketing as a flywheel, and it's actually easy to beat the 8%, 7% interest, and so that type of debt's an asset. So the average American is hundreds of grand negative, um, but for the actual money that they have available, they'll blow. Let's say they have 10K in the bank, or even 4K, like a lot of people. They'll still blow 400 a month on going out and drinking. Right, 10% of their net worth on booze that you piss out. So in both cases, with the high spender, baller, lifestyle league guy, or just the average Americans, it's almost impossible to get wealthy unless you're extremely good at getting revenue. Um, and your spending doesn't exponentially follow your income, which in most cases it will. If you're a baller, and you start going from 20 to 100K, you're probably going to start spending 100K. Um, with that said, perhaps not. He just might spend 40 and keep 60 because it is harder to spend beyond 40K when you're living abroad unless you're flying private. But some guys find a way. But in a lot of cases, it will exponentially, increase. You see this a lot with rappers, athletes, actors, like non-businessmen who don't value the dollar in the same way, will have major lifestyle leaks. And look, I'm not Dave Ramsey saying don't buy the Starbucks so you can be a millionaire when you're 60s. That's trash, complete trash. I want you to be able to spend 25K a month in Latin America and Southeast Asia and all that stuff. Just you're doing it when you're making 100K a month from your active and passive income, or 50K, or you're spending all of it, but you've got 300K in the bank, and you have four revenue generating vehicles that you're dumping all the profits back into and taking a 25K salary out and per month and spending all that. That's fine because you're building equity and reinvesting in the businesses, and your what you have across hedged across the board net worth wise is 300K, um, is fine. So here's the way I want you to think of your money as soldiers. When you leave your soldiers sitting in the bank, your army atrophies, and you lose anywhere from 3 to 15% of your soldiers every year, right? Through inflation. When you pull them out of the battle and put them into lifestyle investments, they're going AWOL, never to return. You're pulling them out and putting them into booze, into all these other things. You're giving them shore leave, right? Go ahead, relax, enjoy. Pulling them out of the battle, they never come back, right? So you're pulling the soldiers out, and you're sending them somewhere else that's not a battle, where you don't benefit at all, at least financially in that case, right? You enjoy your life, but you're pulling your soldiers out of the war, um, never to return. It's only when you keep throwing them into war to fight and die and multiply and conquer that you're able to succeed. Your dollars, each dollar is, a soldier in the army. $10,000 is a platoon. That's enough to start a business, another stream of revenue that's going to make you seven figures, right? That is 10 grand is a platoon. Um, the guys who run Google, have 50 billion or whatever. They have enough to be able to afford 30,000 full-time employees, the smartest people in the world, working 24/7 to make them money because of the amount of soldiers they have to give these guys to fight the competition, right? So if your soldiers are being pulled out of the battle and can't fight and conquer, you can never live the lifestyle you want, and you can't buy peace of mind. Instead, you live on borrowed money, right? Because you're going to go into debt because you're going down financially. Almost all ballers do. And then you're going into distractions from your financial problems. So you push harder into the booze or whatever, to escape this lack of peace of mind that you have, and push harder to live like in the moment and spend the money and don't worry about the future and yada yada, because you're not solving that. Um, so in my opinion, you want to be living like 50% in the moment, 50% for the future. But there's going to be periods, right? Like if your net worth and your revenue is not where it needs to be, where you kind of have to live 90, 95% in the future. And the only moments you're living in for that day are like, from 8 p.m. till midnight, when you order a good meal and like watch YouTube, like some leisure time, right? But the rest of it, you're just hammering goals. Um, so the way you need to look at money is soldiers, right? Almost 99.9% of investments are worthless, because everything you do with your money is an investment, and they're worthless in the sense of financially, right? They have a value in terms of enjoyment and all these different things, but there's really only, businesses, equities, currencies, bonds, collectibles, crypto, real estate, where you actually have a shot at making money. Everything else, your investments depreciating 30% right off the car lot, or like 100% when you buy and eat food, right? Because you can't resell food that's been eaten. Um, so, like, if you really want wealth, how much are you spending to get more wealth? And if you're struggling to stay on a budget, think about the amount of your net worth that you're spending on these things, right? 1% here, 2% here, 10% on this trip, right? Are you really serious about making money? So you have to really sit down and think, am I serious about getting the revenue up and being able to buy the net worth and the peace of mind? And you fucking should be, because the reset's coming, AI's coming, CBDC's coming, social credit's coming, carbon credits on everything's coming, ESG's coming, 15-minute city's coming. 40% of people are going to be replaced by AI and have to live on UBI. It's no joke, and that's just what's being planned out for the next 10 years. Imagine the next 30 or 40. So you need to get your money right, man. And if you like this game that I'm dropping on you right now, what you need to do is set your yearly and decade-long net worth and revenue targets and start backwards from where you want to be 10 years from now, and then make sure that they're pyramided up each year, 30K a month, 60K a month, 120K a month, that type of thing. And you can see exactly how to do that in my net worth course. Net worth course is how to get an 8-figure net worth, which is what I think you need to be aiming for over the next decade. The advice in the 2010s that I was giving you was got you through that. Hopefully you followed it and it got you a comfortable life. But the 2020s, this is a different game post pandemic, and this is what I think the new game plan is. Again, that's a game plan, not a guarantee. This is not a guaranteed for you to make 10 mil, but this is a game plan that gives you a deep understanding of money, a deep understanding of margins and how to multiply it and what to do to protect it. And it goes through all the possible, scenarios that you need, as well as gives you different example game plans based on if you're aggressive, if you like real estate, um, all these different ways. And this is basically 3 years of me researching, studying, talking every day with my clients, talking every day with my friends, going through my goals, going over them again, changing my goals again, to where it's both a game plan for what I need to make sure that I'm going to be taken care of and get through this thing with certainty. And it's also set up for psychological comfort, right? Like, I could have 5, 6 mil, if it's all in Bitcoin, I'm not comfortable, right? So it factors that in as well about what's going to feel right for you, right? Because there's no point in buying this big net worth, which is basically for peace of mind, to feel uncomfortable when you actually have it. So there's so many factors, and there's such a great amount of research that's gone into it. Um, I highly recommend you get it. It's the best financial decision you can make this decade. In addition, a lot of this is covered in the RLD Brotherhood, my 6, 7, 8-figure clients and friends. Highly recommend you join at revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/brotherhood. Other than that, appreciate your time watching this here video. Hope it found you well. And, if you're going to join, looking forward to seeing you in the group. And if you grab the course, make sure to let me know how you enjoy it. And I hope it's super useful to you. Other than that, God bless you, and I'll catch you on the next video.